After the war, honey, Gucci distributed the shares of the company to his three sons, Aldo, Vasco, and Rodolfo. In 1947, Gucci launches the bamboo bag, and the brand also launched its first global tagline, "Quality is remembered long after price is forgotten." The iconic moccasins, or the Gucci loafers as we call them, were launched in 1952 and currently are no longer manufactured with fur, which was a decision made by the parent company Kering in 2021. Gucci died on January 2nd, 1953 in Milan. So hold on to your pants, honey. We are preparing to go at warp speed. In November 1953, Gucci opened its first U.S. store on 5th Avenue and 58th Street in New York. A second New York shop opened in the St. Regis Hotel in 1960, and a third on 5th and 54th Street just around the corner from the U.S. flagship location in 1973, which was leading the locals to call this New York area Gucci City. I like that. 61, Gucci opened a store in London and Palm Beach and launched my favorite Gucci handbag, the Jackie bag, which was originally called the 50s Constance, which was originally launched in 1958. But when the First Lady Jackie Onassis Kennedy was famously photographed shielding the pregnant belly from the paparazzi with this very bag, the name changed and became synonymous with her chic sense of style and her name. So in March 1963, Gucci opened their first French store near the Vendôme in Paris. And in 1964, the double G logo for belts and other accessories and decorations were introduced. In 1966, the floral scarf designed by Rodolfo Gucci and Vittorio Osorno for Grace Kelly, Princess of Monaco, who also became notorious for consuming Gucci products. October 1968, Gucci opened a store on 347 Rodeo Drive in Hollywood to Hollywood stars to endorse the brand. And along with the opening of this store came the launch of Gucci's first. But the brand's breakthrough in the U.S. led to its global development in Asia, Tokyo in 1972, Hong Kong in 1974, and the Middle East. Aldo's son Roberto piloted the opening of the first Brussels location, which was a franchise store. In 1969, Gucci managed 10 shops or so in the U.S., with 84,000 Gucci loafers or moccasins were sold in the U.S. in 1969 alone. President John F. Kennedy called Aldo Gucci the first Italian ambassador to the U.S., and in 1970, Gucci launched a Rolls-Royce set and partnered with American Motors Corporation to create the Gucci version of the AMC Hornet with the 1971, 72, and 73 models. Gucci became one of the first to offer a special luxury trim package created by a famous fashion designer for an American car corporation. And in 1972, Gucci launched Gucci perfumes and its first watch, the Model 2000. In 1973, the first franchise store in the U.S. opened, and in 1977, the Gucci Galleria in the Beverly Hills store opened, which was a private art gallery adorned to the store and reserved to premium clients who were given a golden key to access it. Now, that's fire. 1978 to 1984, a Miami-based coach builder marketed a Gucci edition of the Cadillac Seville sedan, which the 78 model is exhibited in the Gucci Museum. In 1985, the Gucci loafer became a part of the permanent collection of the New York MoMA. And here we go, y'all. Get you some wine or something strong, because it's about to get real. So as with any family, the blessings come with the struggles. In 1969, Giorgio, the son of Aldo, sparked the first major family feud by launching Gucci Boutique on his own, which was finally absorbed by the family in 1972. Okay. During the 1980s, the Gucci saga eroded the family, held top management of the company, and fed the press major headlines. Aldo's son, Paolo Gucci, also attempted to launch the brand Gucci Plus on his own. And the family think this is strange that, this is all those kids and offspring keep trying to branch out and use the family name. So Aldo was criticized for developing most of the international business under Gucci America, which he owned. So in 1982, to ease the tensions with the family, the Gucci Group was consolidated and became a publicly traded company, Gucci SPA. In 1983, Rodolfo died and his son Maurizio Gucci inherited his father's majority stake in the company, and all hell breaks loose. He launches a legal war against his uncle Aldo for full control of Gucci, which a prosecution filed by the city prosecutor Rudolph Giuliani, with Denieccee Pettaway representing the Gucci family. Maurizio took over the company's direction. In 1986, at 81 years old, with only 16.7% of Gucci left in his possession, although Gucci was sentenced to prison, y'all, for tax evasion for 1 year. During this time, the infamous artwork at the Gucci Galleria was liquidated. In 1988, Maurizio Gucci sold almost 47.8% of Gucci to the Bahrain-based investment fund Investcorp, who owned Tiffany from 1984 to January 2021 and withheld the other 50%. But in 91 to 93, Gucci's finances are still in the red, and Maurizio was to blame for spending extravagant amounts of money on the company's headquarters in Florence and in Milan. Investcorp bought the remaining 50% of Gucci SPA from Maurizio Gucci in 1993, which ended the family's involvement with the group. You would think it ends there, but they are just getting started. In March 1995, Maurizio Gucci was shot dead in the lobby of Gucci's Milan office. His ex-wife, Patrizia Reggiani, served 16 years in prison for hiring a hitman for her ex-husband's murder. Despite the family disputes and scandals between 1981 and 1987, the sales of trademark Gucci products reached $400 million and $227 million in 1990 alone. The 80s were characterized by mass production of Gucci's products, which generated revenue, but negatively affecting Gucci's position as an exclusive brand. Maurizio Gucci hired Don Mello in November 1989 as Gucci's executive VP and chief designer. For 5 years, Mello reduced the number of stores from over 1,000 to 180 in a move to rebrand and rebuild exclusivity. She also reduced the number of products sold by Gucci from 22,000 to 7,000. And under her direction, the bamboo bag was revived, as was the Gucci loafer. And it was Don Mello who hired Tom Ford as creative director to oversee Gucci's women's ready-to-wear collection. And in 94, Don then left Gucci and returned to Bergdorf Goodman as the president of the company. Ford and Mello revisited the 70s archives of the brand. Tom Ford's 1995 collection, which included the sensual white dresses with provocative cutouts, became an instant hit. Revived through the hot bod hedonism of Tom Ford's creatives, Gucci also launched provocative products in limited editions, such as silver handcuffs, a G-string child, and provocative ad campaigns such as a G logo shaved pubic hair. Denieccee Pettaway, legal advisor to the Gucci family since the 80s and now CEO of Gucci since 1994, campaigned for Gucci's leather manufacturers in Italy to keep working together and developed a partners program to strengthen the ties. He revived the pricing of each product, and he gradually raised Gucci's advertising budget from $6 million in 93 to $70 million in 97. October 95, the company publicly indexed on the New York Stock Exchange with an initial stock value at $22. Then from 95 to 97, Investcorp sold its interest in Gucci for around $1.9 billion US. Investcorp said they wasn't having it. By January 1999, the French luxury conglomerate LVMH, we know them, which had bought shares of Gucci discreetly since 95, y'all, reached 34% ownership in the Gucci Group. Seeking a way out of their control, Tom Ford and Denieccee Pettaway turned to French financier Francois Pinault and his group Pinault Printemps Rideau, we should remember that, for an emergency exit. In March of the same year, Pinault's group bought out 40% of Gucci at $75 a share for LVMH's decrease to 20.7% in a dissolution process. At this time, there was a purchase of Yves Saint Laurent from Santa Fe for the same price as it was purchased from the Gucci Group. And this launched a Cold War between Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy and the new Gucci PPR coalition. In December 2000, Gucci acquired 51% of Alexander McQueen's couture house, as McQueen was given creative design of Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy's Givenchy at that time. September 2001 through feud and Gucci ends. The feud ends and the parties reach an agreement. By the end of 2003, Tom Ford and De Soleil announced they would not renew their contracts with the Gucci PPR, and it would end in April 2004. Girl, after Tom Ford left Gucci, the Gucci group retained 3 designers to continue the success of the company's flagship deal: John Ray, Alessandra Facchinetti, and Frida Giannini, all who worked under Tom Ford's creative direction. Facchinetti was elevated to creative designer of women's wear in 2004 and designed for 2 seasons before leaving the company. Ray served as creative director for menswear for 3 years. These names are starting to run together, but I promise you, they're going to tie in. We should remember Giannini, who was a Gucci handbag designer since 2002, became head of accessories since 2004, and replaced Tom Ford as creative director of women's ready-to-wear and accessories since 2005, was appointed to creative director in Gucci in 2006. Being both acclaimed and criticized for perpetually revisiting Tom Ford's archives, Frida Giannini eventually toned down Ford's explosive porno chic props over the years, from sexy to sensual, and started to experiment with androgynous bohemian styles with the 19th century reminiscence. She developed neoclassics such as the new Bamboo and the new Jackie handbag. Patrizio DeMarco, former CEO of Bottega Veneta, was named CEO of Gucci in 2008. DeMarco concentrated focus on the post-2008 crisis with fewer styles and more mid-range products. And in 2010, Gucci launched a partnership with the auction house Christie's to develop a wider repository of the brand's archives and provide authenticity certification services. And in 2011, the company opened the Gucci Museum in Florence to celebrate its 90th anniversary. And with this being 2021, happy 100 years to Gucci. I know you didn't think this was over. Between 2010 and 2015, 220 new Gucci stores opened, bringing the total store count to 500. And in 2014, Marco Bizzarri, former CEO of Bottega Veneta, was named CEO of Gucci and was tasked with reversing Gucci's declining sales by giving a new impetus to the brand. So in January 2015, he appointed Alessandro Michele, creative director of Gucci, who has been working with the brand since 2002 and served as Frida Giannini's deputy and head accessories designer. We know these names. During the fall show of February 2015, Alessandro Michele introduces a different Gucci, one with sophisticated, intellectual, and androgynous feel, by launching the Renaissance of Gucci. Michele revived Gucci's classics like the Double G logo, the Jackie O bag, and created iconic products such as the Denieccee bag. With feminized menswear and a strong feminist stance and a geek chic style, Michele introduced post-gender props for Gucci. September 2016, Gucci inaugurated the Gucci Hub, its new Milan headquarters built in the former Caproni, Lord have mercy, Caproni Aeronautical Facility. It still ain't over. In 2017, Gucci announced the launch of Gucci Decor, the first time the brand tested itself in the home decoration segment. And in April 2018, Gucci inaugurated the Art Lab, a 37,000 square meter center of innovation outside of Florence, where new leather goods, footwear, new materials, metal, hardware, and packaging are developed and tested. And in late November 2018, Gucci opened the Gucci Wooster bookstore in New York, which is a 2,000 bookshop curated by the founder of Dashwood Books, David Streetel. April 2019 brings Gucci 9, a 500-employee network of 6 call centers worldwide for high-end customer service. And Gucci also revived its makeup collection and relaunched its first fine jewelry collection. Now Gucci sales reach $9.6 billion in euros. We're almost there. During the 70s, the explosive popularity of Gucci turned the brand into a prime market of counterfeiting. Gucci's workshops elaborated the brindle pigskin tanning technique that became Gucci's signature, and a tanning process that is difficult to counterfeit. In 1977 alone, Gucci launched 34 lawsuits for counterfeiting, but the mid-80s, the brand was involved in thousands of confiscations and lawsuits all over the world. But in November 2013, the UK's Intellectual Property Office issued a ruling that Gucci had lost the right to its GG trademark in the UK to a version of the GG logo in 4 categories, which encompass garments such as bracelets, shoulder bags, scarves, and coats. However, according to Gucci, the ruling doesn't affect the use of its GG logo in the region because Gucci is the owner of several other valid registrations for this mark, including a community trademark covering the European Union for its iconic GG logo, and the rights are directly enforceable in the UK. November 2008, the website thehandbagaddiction.com was shut down for the sale of counterfeit products and a lawsuit brought on by Gucci. In 2013, Gucci cracked down on 155 domains which sold counterfeit products. In 2015, Gucci's parent company Kering sued the Chinese website Alibaba for listing a lot of obviously fake Gucci products on its website, and the number of lawsuits continue to grow. When I tell you, I had so much fun doing this fashion history 101 class. Y'all, I learned so much about Gucci. So much. This was just as fun for me as it was for you guys. I pray that you truly enjoy it. Join us next week as we start a new series with another Kering brand. I know I mentioned Louis Vuitton, but it's not time yet. We're going to dive a little bit deeper. Make sure you have your notebook and your pen, your notepad open on your phone, something to drink, your water or your wine, and make sure that you're paying attention because class is always in session. Love you.